Hey, folks, we are live. Just gonna get things going in. There it goes. Facebook was taking its time to detect the stream. Like, hey, Facebook, any day now. All right. Facebook is firing up, and I've just got to go and make the post. But what's going on today? So, how's everyone doing though? Oh, look, it's me brushing my hair. That's the snapshot there. It's me just, oh, look, I look a little bit better than the one in the group. Looking all smiley. I like it. Yeah, everyone. All right. KU Rate Summertime and our new membership. It's trying to copy something and it copied like a whole bunch of the web page and I just pasted it into Facebook comment. All right. I'm ready to rock. Takes me a little bit, but I got there. Hope everyone is having a fabulous week. Jill's going to be joining us today. She's just going to be here in a couple of minutes, so I'm excited. It's always nice to have a guest star on with me because that's how I feel about Jill. She's totally my guest star. We're having a good week, though. I mean, we're having a crazy busy week. Lots going on for us. We're building a new membership program. Major renovations are occurring in our house, and our car broke down. And the first shop couldn't figure out what was wrong to fix it. So it's been like moving a broken car from shop to shop kind of thing. Getting the rental and all that. Plus, like all sorts of weird things have like been going like not bad, but frustratingly sideways this week. I mean, I guess the one shop not being able to fix the car is just like $150 that you just take and light it on fire. Because they charge you the diagnostic fee, but they couldn't fix it. But like I got a bunch of plywood and blow-in insulation delivered from Home Depot, and the delivery driver left the pallet jack here. You know, like the thing they use, like the rolls around, has like the two sort of big forks on it, and they use it to lift up the pallets to move them around. So it's in our driveway. You know, this 200-pound pallet jack is in our driveway. I figured they would just like realize they left it behind and come back and get it. So now I've got to like get in touch with Home Depot and try and find someone I can actually tell this to who will actually get this pallet jack picked up. I might have to like go down there and be like, come get your pallet jack out of my driveway. Um, so yeah, so it's like, it's not like bad. It's just frustratingly annoying. So how's everybody else's week going? I'm really stoked about the renovations we're doing though, because it's going to make for like this nice space for Eva to hang out and do her schoolwork and to do all of her crafty stuff sort of in her own little space. And she's 14 now. She'll be 15 in 5 months, which is crazy. So she needs her own space. And while she has her room, she has, like her parents, a lot of hobbies. So her room's pretty cluttered. So I'm looking forward to giving her a nice space for all that. We've got 6 or 7 people here across all the platforms. So say hi. It's nice to have you. Or don't say hi if you want to be chill. That's fine too. Keeping an eye peeled for Jill for when she joins in. But one of the things I'm going to be talking about today is the KU rate. Hey, Todd. And what's going on with that? It's always a bit, especially after last summer, it's a bit kind of scary almost. So thus far this summer, we're doing a lot better, but I've got some good news and some bad news on that front. So there's that. Hey, Emma, I've been chatting with you all morning, so now you get to see me. It's me. I mean, you know what I look like, and you know where I sit because we had video calls. I've also got like a big light back there because I'm like doing a lot of filming. So when I'm doing that, sometimes I set up my lights so I get good light. Right now, it's great though because I have a window in front of me, so I get natural light beaming in on me. It's weird though. For whatever reason, my camera's gotten it's on this weird thing where the background is like super dark and I'm super bright. And I'm actually kind of okay with that because it makes me stand out more, which is the goal. Jill is here. All right. Hey, Jill.
Hi.
Hi. I've just been doing like a random intro chatting. Um, Jill's, where are you sitting? Oh, you're sitting on underneath the umbrella.
I am. Yeah. It felt a little hot when I came out, so I decided to come over here.
Nice. We have a couple different seating options because we have a pergola, and for the longest time outside we had like a table under a pergola because that's what was there when we in that spot when we moved in. So we just eventually just made a new table and we put that there. And I'm like, why don't we have like an outdoor couch and like a nice seating area here? So, and Jill's
I
like,
can't
yes.
find this in the group yet.
Oh, I
So
saw it.
can you do the everyone thing?
I did an everyone thing,
Oh, okay.
but I saw it in the group because I loaded the group up and it was right there.
Yeah.
My
No, not for me.
Todd says hi. He's on my Facebook profile.
Yes.
It is pesky how the lives can take forever to show up.
It's
So
like, thanks, Facebook.
I know, right? Like, come on. Although it looks like we've got like 15 people across all the different places right now.
Like,
So
even if I search for you by name, none of your lives are showing up right now.
what the hell? I was like all these hand gestures, but you can't see them all, so I'll do them like right close to
You
my
have to like do
face.
them right here.
Ah. All right, so well, we're like starting up here. I want to talk a bit about the KU rate stuff. Um, it's like not like the best news, but it's not terrible news. And then we'll talk about good things. So we'll get both. So don't worry about it. It's not going to be like just like doom and gloom. Because last time I talked about the KU rate, I felt like I was a bit of a downer. So I'm going to do my best not to be a downer this time. Um, my eyeliner just looked really weird for a second there. Okay, share screen. Feels like Mal. Okay, hi. And how did it lay us out? Okay, this is fine. If I do this, oh, that's even better. It'll make it bigger, and then we're tucked down in the bottom. So this is the KU rate every month since this current iteration of KU started, which was July of 2015. Um, and them's were the good old days. There were some super high KU rates for a while, and I think Amazon realized it was giving us all too much money, and things kind of like chilled out to the point like there was a while where we made over half a cent per page read. Um, and over the last few years, the variances have been shrinking, which is nice overall. But we've been kind of dealing with around like 0.45 cents per page read. But last summer we dipped hard, and that dip started in March. We went down to 0.4 cents per page read. It crept up a little bit, and then we hit like the all-time low. Actually, not the yeah, it was the all-time low. There were two big dips early on. I remember that July 2017 dip when it went from like because I went full time in November of 2016, and the rate was over half a cent per page at that point, and then it plummeted like by the next summer to one of the lowest points it's ever hit, zero point 0.4 cents per page read. So there have been a couple of dips, but last summer was like a really low stretch. So even if you got good page reads, you were not enjoying the revenue you're getting from those. And then August started to climb back up, and we had like a decent rate, 0.45 in November. And then we actually dipped a good bit in January. That was kind of sad because a lot of times Januaries don't dip that much. But I should say, January always dips. Like it's interesting, like January 2023, January 2022, January 2021, 2020. I can find them just by looking for these dips after a big peak. There's always a peak in the rate in November and December. And then there's always a dip in January. So ads are really cheap in January, but there's always this big dip that hits as well. So it's always something to be prepared for. But last summer was like rough because previous summers have oftentimes been like okay. I mean, in 2022, July and August were down a bunch. They were down a bit in 2021. Like every summer, except for 2018, we have seen a summer dip. These red dots are all August. So it is fairly normal to see a dip, but last summer was extra, right? And I remember feeling the pain pretty hard, especially a lot of people running ads. We felt that because, of course, ad costs are not cheap during summer. Oftentimes they creep up in summertime. But so far we're off to a good start. We do not have the July rate yet, and that's kind of the tricky things, right? Like you're trying to figure out your advertising strategy for the summer, and you're not going to learn the July KU rate until August 15th. I just checked right before the call, and we don't have the rate yet. The spreadsheets haven't updated to give us the KU value. So So fingers crossed that July has a good number. It could dip a bit though, like we saw here in 2022. We had a great rate in June, and July dropped a good bit. But I want to talk about another angle on that. But I don't know if Jill has anything to add because I've just been yapping. She's waiting for her turn to talk about what she wants to talk about. Let's see. Emma says she saw it in the Facebook group. That's cool. Jesse Jocelyn says, hi from Montreal. Happy to be here. Question. I keep getting info labels enabled on all my ads. I turn each one off, but they keep coming back on. I'm not sure what you mean by info labels. Can you describe that a little more specifically? There's a number of different things I could imagine. And like, where do they show up and where are you turning them off? I can help with that if I get a bit more info on that. Unless you mean like it's on the actual ad itself when you're viewing the added comments and it has some sort of info. I'm curious what it's showing. I don't know if you can. I think you can share. You can post a picture and a comment. I believe. I don't think it should be just a regular Facebook comment. All right. So well, she does that. So this is okay. This doesn't look terrible. It does suck that the KU rate is going down over time. And there's nothing to convince us otherwise. So, but the other thing is, like, we all know very clearly that what a dollar bought you in July of 2015 is not what a dollar buys you today. So let's go in here and add in adjusting for inflation on the chart. This was a pain. And calculate the inflation difference from July 15, 2015 to every single month in here to come up with this number. But this is what it looks like with inflation. Inflation was pretty steady, only a couple of cents a year until 2021. Right after COVID ended, we had that period of mass inflation. And so the adjusted KU rate now is quite a bit lower. So if you look even now where we're doing pretty well, adjusted to what the rate was in 2015, we are like at 0.32 cents per page read, whereas back then we were at like, very for quite a bit we were at 0.5 or maybe 0.48 cents per page read, and now we're down to 0.3. And inflation is flattened out actually pretty nicely. You can kind of see this in the graph that the difference, the distance between the dollar amount and the amount adjusted for inflation is sort of like leveled out a bit. There's actually been a couple periods. It was neat when I was going through this. There's actually a couple periods where there was reverse inflation. But anyway, this is something to really keep in mind when you're thinking about your author strategy, that the rate's going down and inflation is always going to go up. It's just sort of the nature of the beast. So strategies where you need to start thinking of strategies beyond KU. That doesn't mean that I'm against KU, and I don't think authors should go into KU. I'm totally cool with KU. I think KU's a fabulous way to sell your books. But there need to be other things that we're doing to sell our books, or we're not going to be beholden to Amazon because of this drop that we're dealing with here. All right, Jesse says business information for. Oh, okay. I don't see the picture right under the call to action section of Facebook has this comes up. Let me show. But is this on the actual ad that people are seeing, or is this in the ad manager? Like, I think these are just suggestions for you, aren't they? Oh, okay. I mean, if it's just showing up in the ad manager, I wouldn't worry about it. It's just Facebook trying to get you to use more of their services. Are these traffic ads or are these sales ads? And are you, when you're running your sales ads, have you set them up for showing on website or website and shop? Because that might be why you're seeing some of these. Like the one about like free shipping and stuff like that makes me kind of wonder if you've set up, if you've chosen website and shop. Because when you choose website and shop for a sales ad on Facebook, it doesn't mean Shopify, it means a Facebook store. So Facebook will actually try and give you all sorts of other recommendations about that. Oh, there are traffic. Oh, that's interesting. You haven't run the ads yet. I'm really going to need to see a screenshot on that. I don't know what you're referring to, but I also like, I know what sections. I almost like am blind to certain parts of the ad manager at this point because I'm in my mind, I'm like, this is the area where they put a bunch of bullshit and I just ignore it. And it might be one of those areas. Also, if anybody here saw my Flex ad account or my Flex ad talk I did a couple weeks ago, you remember that I had to use seven different Facebook accounts to actually show all the different ways that the ad manager can look. And even then, I didn't. It wasn't exhaustive. There's a bunch of other ways the ad manager can look. And even then, I've seen some new ones since then. But okay, yeah, send me a DM and I'll see if I can give you some thoughts on that DM. At the very least, if it's something I haven't seen before, that'll be cool too. Yeah. So this is looking at this graph here. I know you're like, Mal, you're making me sad. I didn't want to see a graph that looks like this. I do feel like it's not the worst news because inflation has really flattened out. And we've had a good spring as far as the page rate's been. It did dip in January, but it climbed back up, which was nice. And it almost always does. Like you'll see after every January dip, there's a springtime climb in the rate. Although except for in 2018, there was a massive February dip. But by and large, that's pretty normal. We had a good climb. And then summer didn't dip as much as it did last year. So we've got that going for us. However, it'll be very interesting in like a day or so. We'll know what the July rate is, and we'll know if we saw 2022 July and August or a lesser July and August. But you'll know is July and August always go down. They just always dip, and it is sad, but it's also just the nature of the game. You know, you can work your butt off, and then Amazon can just decide to pay you less money, and they let you know in a month and a half later. Or I guess 2 weeks later, but a month and a half from the beginning of the month when you make your plan. So that's why selling our books outside of KU is really important. And a lot of people are like, I'm not willing to go wide because so much of my revenue is from KU and I'm not ready to make that shift yet. So the other thing you really got to start thinking about is what alternative ways can you build a revenue stream outside of Facebook? And there's two that I think are kind of the winners right now. And the biggest winner is Kickstarter. I think every author out there should be evaluating how they can set up a Kickstarter. I know authors who launched their very first book on Kickstarter and did $4,000, and authors who just took their existing books, didn't even like give them new covers, put a little bit of internal art in, and then did hardcover editions and were able to make $10,000 on Kickstarter by doing that. Now, obviously, there's costs in there, and they didn't net $10,000, but they did make several $1,000s in profit. So something that's really worth considering, you know, how can you expand reach and generate revenue streams outside of KU and Amazon? And Kickstarter is a great way because Kickstarter, you don't have to worry about setting up a long-term store. It's not like long-term ads and sales and all that jazz. It's just a one-time thing. Or you decide like, you know what, I'm done. I'm going Shopify. I'm going to make this happen. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. This the KU rate sort of keeps us focused. Unfortunately, is going to keep that in mind as we go forward. So, Jill, I'm done with that topic. Do you want to talk more?
Yes. Sorry.
Do you want to start to launch in about our membership, or do you want me to launch in about the membership?
You launch. I was sorry. You talked other stuff for so long. I dazed out. Ugh.
Did you?
Yeah. So you start, and then if you need my help, I'll jump in, or you can pass it to me once you get started.
I was all like, okay, and Jill's gonna handle this part, and then I can chill.
No.
Apparently, it's all on me.
I'm just here for support. Like if you get, off, like you get something wrong or you go off topic, I can.
I'm Admiral Jar Jar in Return of the Jedi, and she's Vader.
I'm Vader. I'm here.
He's here to get me back on schedule.
Target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The Emperor does not share my optimism, all that jazz. That's what Jill's here for. Star Wars reference for those of you who got that. All right.
Maybe we should ask who's been interested in the stuff I posted about the membership, who signed up for the interest form, drop a comment.
Fabulous way to start things off. Yeah. Yes. Well, a lot of people might have noticed Jill sent out an email recently to our newsletter. And you posted this on the group too, right? About how we're not doing one-on-one consulting anymore. Now, of course, that doesn't affect current clients. Current clients
Yeah.
who bought one-on-one consulting
Facebook ad
that
consulting
shall
specifically.
continue.
We're still going to do one-on-ones inside the memberships and stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, the regular one-on-one Facebook ad consulting, we're not doing. Yeah, Emma asked about us. Nice. Some people were alarmed. They're like, "What does this mean?" It's like doesn't change anything that's currently happening. But it's a new thing that we're doing, and one of the biggest parts of it, and I talked about this before, is that there's only so much Mal to spread around, and Mal likes working like 7 hours a day, not 12 hours a day. That's kind of like where I like to be, because right now I work 11 to 12 hours a day most days. And it's just not efficient, right? Like it's hard for me to help all the people I want to help. So we're shifting to more group instruction.
We want something to be easier for authors.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not just about Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you, as an author, you're not ready for that.
Yeah.
You need to have a strong foundation. So we want to talk about how you build a strong foundation.
Yeah.
And then how you go from a strong foundation to a sustainable business model to that can easily scale to make you more money from your backlist. So you're not just burning yourself out on new releases to keep income up. But what happens if you stop at, you know, your car breaks down, your kids are sick? Like we've all been there. And suddenly everything's thrown off. The gravy train is ending. You don't know what to do. But if we have you have a strong foundation to build upon, and everything is on that foundation, and that foundation can support your business and you, then things will be easier. Kind of like building a house. You don't want to decorate the house before the house is built.
Yeah, and a lot of this, you know, it came from us realizing, and this has been like something we've realized some time ago, and have been like looking at different ways to tackle this over the years. But we'll get clients who start advertising with us, and we realize that we can get the ads to work well on Facebook, but we're not getting the conversions that we want to have. And we realize, you know, there's might be a read-through issue with the series. Maybe it's like there's actually a major trope in the stories. That's actually a huge trope that the people love, but it's not represented on the cover, the title, or the blurb. The cover is not up to snuff. The title is actually signaling the wrong genre or wrong major tropes and whatnot. And we realize like, oh, before we can actually make ads profitable, we've got to go like Jill said, build up the foundation. And so, you know, while we love doing Facebook ads and we think they're like a game changer for people's careers, everything else also has to be in a really good position.
Facebook ads are a piece, and you have to be ready for it to take your business like skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And that's like, what we want to make sure you're ready. Yes.
And like, you know, we're both like, we love Facebook ads, and they've been like huge in our career. But, you know, we run AMS ads, we do Kickstarters, we do newsletter swaps, we get our books into anthologies and do cross promotion. You know, we explore other ways of selling books. Like if I could clone myself, I would have comic books at this point, kind of thing. Like there's so many things. I want to write an encyclopedia for my series. There's so many things that I would do to build out the IP and the brand, and that I will do. Trust me, all these things will happen ultimately. I will not rest until I have them all. But all of these things working together is what uplifts the series. Sorry, my hand gestures. You can't see them. I'm making all these grandiose hand gestures, and they're all out, and everything's black from here down, so you can't see. You can't even see my shoulders move. It's crazy.
And we also want to make it as easy as possible for authors. So that means, like, you know, whichever membership you're in, there's guides and checklists, and there'll be some plug and play to help you along on your own journey, which is going to be different from other people, and give you a community to rely on and talk to. And
just for kicks, I turned myself into a floating head. Sorry.
What is it?
I just turned myself into a floating head.
Oh.
So you're being so serious. I'm like, look, I'm a floating head.
Oh my God, you're totally derailing me. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm good.
Can you bring up maybe the PDFs we can use to help?
I can bring up the PDF. Yeah. So we're doing this new thing that we're doing, and the new way we want to help people. Other thing we're able to do too is we can do it for a lot lower cost, which we're really excited about as well. So let me reshare this.
Oh, good. I can see it in this little screen.
Yeah. So do we want to talk about the tiers that we have?
I think we could talk about the roadmap first.
Okay.
And then the different tiers, because you can basically get the roadmap for all three
Yeah.
tiers. So this
So-
is a great place to start.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why we made this roadmap too is we're like, there's a couple things that kind of came from, like, I tend to do really long webinars. If you've ever been in one of my webinars, I'm sorry, they're long. They're like 1.5 to 3.5 hours sometimes, and I'm like, oh God, I have to cover all these things because these are all important steps. But pretty much everybody's brain has like drizzled out their ears by the time we get to the 2-hour mark. And they're just like, I'm here because I paid for it, but Mal, please stop talking. And so one of the things I've known for a while I got to do is I'm breaking everything down into more bite-sized chunks. How do you make a reel? Here's a 15-minute video on like one of the easiest ways to make reels. How do I build an ad for reels? Here's a 15-minute video walking through all the steps to make an ad for reels. But then the end result of that is 400 videos, right? And if you join a course and there's 400 videos, no one's watching that. In fact, you're going to get overwhelmed by the choice and all the options, and you won't pick anything. And it's decision overload. It's like a well understood, documented thing that if people are presented with more than 3 decisions, chances are they won't make any, or more than 3 options. They have to choose. Chances they won't pick any. That's why you go to almost any like product sell page, and they're giving you 3 options, and they've positioned one to be obviously better to help you make the choice easier. So we were talking about that, and I said, like, we need some sort of roadmap way to tell people what to do next. And Jill put this together, and I think this is really awesome. We talked a bit about like the order we should do things. You get cicadas out there, eh, honey? I don't know if she can hear me. Can you hear
Now,
me?
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but can you
I was talking to you and
screen?
asking you questions.
Oh, sorry. Could you do full screen or presenter mode? So
I
the
don't know if I can do it.
doesn't show like your taskbar and info
Probably not.
bar
Nope.
and stuff.
I opened it in Chrome, so I don't know that I can, honey.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, fit to page. Nope, that's not it.
If not, it's fine.
Yeah, I'd have to actually like put this into something else to share it a little bit bigger.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll just roll with it.
Yeah, and if I go full screen, I can't actually tab between the PDF and StreamYard. So, alas, we're stuck like this.
Okay.
I was just mentioning you have cicadas out there that were really loud, and then you looked like you couldn't hear me, so I wasn't sure if my audio was working. All right, never mind.
Oh, sorry. I can't hear you that well.
Okay, that's what I was trying to find out. All right, I can get you headphones for when you go outside, honey.
Yeah, I guess so. But I thought I was rushing around because I thought we were going to present this right away, so I didn't grab everything I could.
So one of the first things that is really important in marketing, and we actually talked about when we talked about this, we had Reader Magnet first because we are huge proponents of reader magnets. In fact, I'm working on a case study for an author where we are getting between 600 and 1,000 new readers onto our mailing list every single month by using a reader magnet and Facebook ads. And these are people that they're not as good as like back of book organic leads, because those people are like they've read your stuff and they want to give you their email address to get more. These people are like, ooh, free book, I'll go read it. But they've only engaged with just you. It wasn't part of a multi-book anthology or something like that. So they're like mid-tier leads, effectively. They're not top tier, but they're mid-tier leads. Although I guess in respect, people that you get from the back of your book are no longer leads. They're readers. They're your customers now. So I guess in a way, these are actually top tier leads from a leads perspective. And we're huge about this. Like Jill's launched a pen name one time and built a 4,500 person mailing list before book 1 came out by using a reader magnet. And launching a book 1 to a 4,500 person list is a heck of a lot easier than launching a book 1 under a new pen name to a newsletter list of 0, where you have to use paid promo and swaps and launch Facebook ads, which are going to be more expensive than a slow burn reader magnet ad. So we had that first, but then we thought about if your reader magnet isn't on target, then it's not going to help. So genre and trope has to be first. It says max sale potential. I thought it said max sex potential or sex max. I was like, what does it say here? So
this is why people like us. We are not polished.
No, well, I mean none of us authors are polished, so you would know it was fake if we were too polished. But really, it's like, if you're writing a reader magnet, like let's say you're writing, I don't know, Academy, um, Paranormal Academy, and in book one, the main character starts off Percy Jackson style, does not realize that they're the chosen one, the special gifted person and whatnot. They're living the regular Muggle life, um, and then they have the awakening moment where they realize they have magical powers and they're whisked off through the portal or whatever it might be to the magical world, Narnia style, and so on and so forth. So if you were to write a reader magnet that directly flows from the reader magnet, which should be a prequel to book one, into book one, well, that'd be pretty darn boring, right? Because the character is not in this magical world yet. They're just going about their day-to-day life. Now, I feel like it could be possible to do that, where maybe they have like this awakening moment, but it's too early and the magical beings suppress their memories so that they can go to the academy at the right time. It might be possible to do that with your existing main character. But I think that's a tricky thing because some readers don't like having the character's growth reset. It's like the season of Dallas where they woke up and the guy came to in the shower and it was all a dream or something like that, and everybody realized the whole last season was meaningless. Like, readers don't like to read that what they saw was meaningless. So that's a tricky thing to do. But so perhaps you're like, well, I can't do it I can't do it before book one because of this, so I'm going to make my reader magnet a novella that happens between book one and book two. That doesn't work quite as well, because when they finish that and they go into book one, they're going to have this disconnect. They're going to be like, wait a second, the character was in school at this magical school, and now they're at school in LA at some public school or something like that. And it's going to be off-putting, and it's going to cause some people to stop reading. It's just a guarantee. So what people will do in other cases, like, well, I'll write this other story that I can use. I'll use that as my reader magnet, but then it doesn't flow into book one. So the genre and trope class, what it really helps you understand is, like, what are the major genre elements and trope elements of my story, and how do I present those to users? And unless you have that information really down pat, you're not going to be able to create the best reader magnet that exemplifies the best genre and trope elements to pull them into book one. And so, so the answer might end up being like, you know what, I'm going to pick the mentor teacher at the school who's a big character in book one, and I'm going to make the reader magnet about them, or something like that. That's one of the ways we tackle that particular problem. So that's why we swap those and we put that genre and trope thing in the beginning. And I'm a really firm believer in this being super important. I did a talk at LibertyCon a couple months ago on the genre and trope thing, and it was just the abbreviated version because I had like 45 minutes, and my full spiel for that is like a 3-hour talk, which will be cut up into nice bite-sized chunks in the membership that we're putting together. But people walked up and said, like, this has changed everything about how I'm going to market my books going forward. They're like, this is the most eye-opening thing I've ever seen. So I'm not trying to toot my own horn on that, because I'm not the only one who understands and teaches these things. Obviously, lots of people do, but I do think it's such a foundational thing. And then once you have your foundation done and you have your reader magnet up, now it's time to actually learn how to craft ads. Facebook ads can't be done until you have your blurbs and ad copy, understanding how to take that genre and trope information and now convey that in the title, the ad copy, the blurb, how you're going to pull people in and actually make your books irresistible. Because everybody knows, we've all seen things where you see the ad and you're like, click, and you're putting up that GIF, like, take my money now kind of thing, right? How do you make your copy cause people to reply with the take my money GIF? Launching books, there's ads and marketing for your backlist, and there's ads and marketing for launches. How do they differ? How do you leverage them both, and how do they work together? What can you do together with both of those things to make them work? And then other types of promotions. This is where I think a lot of people fall down. Is you want to focus on writing, and you're like, well, I'm going to run Facebook ads so I can focus more on writing, and you put all of your eggs in the Facebook ad basket. And while I do think that the Facebook ad basket is one of the best baskets out there, with the your mileage may vary tag on there, because Facebook is a fickle god and is more than happy to smite us whenever it feels like it. You got to have your eggs in more baskets, right? You've got to have AMS ads. You've got to be trying other grassroots marketing things. You have to have a social media presence of some sort. You got to be working a newsletter. swaps, omnibuses, multi-author things. We talk about like, what are your options? What do you expect to get from each one? And also like, which ones are going to get you just like regular readers, and which ones are more likely to get you super fans, because those are important as well. Some of these things, sometimes the high effort, low return things are the things that can actually get you a lot of super fans. So how do you leverage that angle and do that too? And then, building your community. This is how you take those super fans that you started to pull in, or regular fans that you pulled in, and turn them into super fans. That is absolutely clutch. So that's something that we got to consider too. And then, continue to expand. You hit a point where you're like, okay, people are buying my books, they're liking them. I can run profitable ads where I put, $5 into the machine. And even if you get $8 out, when you put $5 in the machine, that's still 3 times better than the stock market, just as as a frame of reference. So how do you scale that? How do you find more of these readers? How do you make more super fans? All that jazz. And then we have some other ancillary things in here that we're going to be talking about. Formatting, ebook support, sort of thing. I'm a huge proponent of your book public creation process and publication plot process. Needs to be super streamlined. Like, I actually use Word for everything. Just yesterday, I was talking with an author about formatting in Word and how to build your books in Word, because she was using the Kindle Book Creator or Kindle Create or whatever it's called, and she hates it. And I'm like, well, you've got a Word document. You can just upload that, provided you take a couple of steps. And one of the reasons why I really like that is because every time you move something from one place to another, you introduce the possibility to make a mistake. And the fewer steps, the fewer mistakes you're going to have. So, you write something in Scrivener, you export it to Word, send it to your editor, go through all the edits in Word, put it back into Scrivener. And then after Scrivener, you put it into, I forget that formatting software that everybody uses all the time that only used to run on Mac, Vellum, put it into Vellum, and then you get your book. That book has like moved all over the place. And then you get like some other edits, and someone, your editor maybe does a second pass on the Word document. You got to move that again. There's so many scenarios where you can have things go wrong. And also, if you want to make an update, it's so many steps, right? So I'm a really big proponent of like, how could you make this as simple as possible? And unless you want to do like crazy fancy things, you can do everything in Word. In fact, you can just do everything in Word. It is more finicky than other pieces of software. But if you don't need to do anything really fancy, and you want to do things like keep your back matter up to date on the regular and stuff like that, making it so that it takes you 10 minutes to update a book versus 30 minutes to update a book, and you've got 30 books, that starts to become really big. I have 130 books, so if I can make it so that updating a book as streamlined as possible, I'm going to do that. So there can be that, and there's a bunch of other things in there. How can you streamline your process? How can you remove complexity and take out additional steps? And then we move on from there into scaling. We're going to talk about scaling, and then we also have stuff about how when you're in a membership, you get access to everything that we do. It's also in the mix as well. And then sort of circling back to Facebook ads is in there too. Some of the things we're reorganizing in here a bit, but this kind of gives you an idea of the roadmap. And wait, I want to go, here we are.
I can take this over if you want.
Okay, you take it.
Give you a minute there. So it's not listed here, but there is going to be like a self-paced version where you're not technically, in a group membership. You'll get access to all the videos. We'll have the ability, so you could take an assessment, so we can build, you can go into a custom module that, whether if you're at the beginner or maybe you're more advanced, and then specific videos to help you where you are on your journey. But you will still have access to all the master classes that we're going to do and stuff like that. If you decide that you don't want self-paced, you want something more guided with more support of you'll get a community support with other authors in your group. You'll also get access to us. And this basically will break it down. What's the difference between beginner and advanced? If you're a beginner, you get one live call on Wednesdays with the Writing Wives team, me, Mal, and Danica. If you're in advanced, you'll get 3. So there'll be more planning, more like, where are you right now? Where are you stuck? Why are you stuck? How can we help get you unstuck? Sort of conversations. and then everyone on the call can talk and help each other out. When you first come into the program, if you're a beginner, you'll have a group kickoff call of about 5 or less people or so. I'm thinking it'll be 5 or less. So Mal can, will talk to you, find out what your plan of action should be and your first goals should be for the first 30 days. If you're advanced, you get a 1 hour with Mal to basically do the same thing, but you're going to get more attention, more focus. It's just you. So, you're free to say anything you want.
Yeah.
So
And we were talking today about how we're going to use that kickoff information to actually, that plus like a questionnaire, and we're going to create like a customized course for everybody too. Like, here's the things we think you should focus on in this.
That will be for the self-paced though, not for necessarily for this. Though we may use that for this as well.
I feel like we could possibly use it everywhere to some degree.
Yeah, I think we probably could do both, to be honest. Yeah. If you're a beginner, you'll get 1 co-working session a month where it'll be like 4 hours, 5 hours where on a Zoom call where we can all work together quietly and you can chat if you have questions. If you're in advanced, you'll get 2. And then we're also talking, it's sort of experimental, having extended private lunches with Mal inside the membership, maybe once or twice. We'll see. It'll probably be free flowing. Like we'll decide which ones are going to happen that month. And then we'll end here on Facebook and then we'll continue in private for more questions, more troubleshooting. Let me, look at your ads. Let me look at your ad manager sort of situation.
I think the co-working thing is really exciting because imagine you're like, okay, I need to make some new ads this month, or I'm working on formatting something, or I'm doing cover research or something like that. So the co-working sessions will be I'll be on doing some of my work and you guys can all be on doing your work. And if you're like, hey Mal, what do you think of this video I just made? And you can put it up and then I'll look at it. Other people could also comment on it or something like that. Or you're just I'm making an ad and I got this weird thing popping up asking me this question, what do I choose? So you'll be able to actually it'd be like doing your work in class with the teacher there. And you can be like, hey, teach, come over here, I need help. So I'm really excited about that. I think it's gonna be really awesome and efficient for everybody too.
Can you scroll down a little bit further?
Yes, sorry.
I can't see.
I got excited.
I know. It's just because my preview of my face is right there.
Oh,
okay,
I know.
so
Gotcha.
These are the pricing structure for beginners: $50 a week or $200 a month, 12-month recurring, and then the advanced is $120 a week or $480 a month, 12 months recurring. And we'll have, if you want more access to Mal, we'll have office hour packages for a select number of authors per month. We're only letting in 10 authors a month per program, so we make sure that everyone receives the personal attention they need, so we can make sure they hit those first, month or 2 goals, and we don't lose track of anyone. We will check up on you in the group, in the community. We will check on you on the calls to make sure you're doing okay and that you're not lost. So that's the basic plan. I have now an interest form. A lot of people have filled it out. I have 150 people on the interest form, and that means not everyone is going to get in when they want to get in, or where they want to go. So, I'm basically going to have to do it the fair way, which is to start at the bottom of whoever filled out the form first, contact them, see if they pass, move on to the next person. And so if we don't get to you, but you want in it, we can always put you in the self-paced marketing course for now. And then when we next, in 30, 60 days, we open up enrollment again, contact you first and be like, hey, are you still, interested in coming in? And then just have to work through it that way. And there will be ways, if you're in the membership, you can book one-on-one calls cheaper with Mal. But we'll only have, again, select number per month available, so Mal does not get extremely overworked, because that's, we don't want anyone on the Writing Wives team to be basically running into the ground. We want to make sure that everyone has good working conditions and that authors have great learning conditions. And the better our conditions are, the more we can give to a membership program.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And then I'm always optimistic. I'm maybe eventually we can start taking on more than 10 people a month, but that's sort of our commitment to start with.
Yeah.
We're also doing the advanced Facebook course, which is a pretty intensive course in
workshop.
September. Workshop. Sorry.
It's okay.
That one's pretty intense. It's going to be going on September and October. So we'll see as that when that winds down, if we can ramp this up and
And I
start
think,
bringing more people into the membership.
I haven't really nailed it down exactly yet, because the workshop is like, what, 6 to 8 weeks. So at the end of that, maybe they get the option, to go into a membership if they want to.
Yeah.
Like a special, like, I don't know, but I feel like that would be a good offer for them to continue like working with us and with you. So
I was thinking more of like my availability too.
Yeah. I think it's all really exciting, and we hope, like if we see like, oh, this author's struggling with XYZ, we'll do a quick video or a template, or like something to help them and put it in the community, so when other people get this same situation, that there's something there for them to rely on. So we will be building it and like seeing what authors need and adjusting what we're doing. So I can't, like this first month, these are the prices. I can't say they're going to stay these prices for new enroller, people enrolling 6 months from now. I don't know. Depends how much, we throw into this program, and what it ends up being. And then I don't necessarily know if we need to go over that guide talking about the self-paced version.
Okay.
Because I feel like we've gone over a lot of it, but it's just a little handout. I'll probably, pin it to the group at some point.
Yeah. But this is the third option we were talking about, where if you don't want all the live stuff, Q&As and the meetings and the working hours or office hours, there is a self-paced option as well that will have just the videos available too. So that's totally an option, and that could be an option too, where like you do the class with the live stuff, and you just want to like keep access to the growing library of content down the road. That this could be something you could just shift to as well. So,
and I think they will both, like, I don't want to say all three are going to launch exactly at the same time, but October, beginning of October is the target date. The self-paced course could come, we may decide, okay, it's ready enough. We can launch it in September. I know we will be adding other modules. I've already have lots of ideas. So like say September, we add the Kickstarter module. Like what you should do, what's a good strategy Kickstarter, what your Kickstarter campaign should look like. Here's some starter images or template images you can modify to use for your banners, and social media strategies. Like these are all things we're going to refine and sort of like add to as we go. But we want to put the basics down for like direct sales September, the Kickstarter September, and stuff like that. And we'll just keep building it out every month. There may be like a mini module, or like we enhance this module, we get a new template,
or we update something for like changes and all that sort of jazz.
Yeah, that's another thing. Well, we will be updating, like say the Facebook ads module, like
and then we're working on also more checklists, workbooks, written content as well, because not everybody absorbs information as easily via video. So there's be other ways of getting the information and be done. So I'm super stoked, because I feel like this is going to help. Like behind the scenes, we've sort of been building a library of video content for helping authors for some time now. Yeah, we have like hundreds of hours of this content, and I think it makes a lot of sense to make it available.
Can I just mention 2 more things?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we are AI friendly, so we're going to assume everyone that comes into the membership is also at least AI tolerant, because if you're not, then it might not be the place for you, because I probably will whip something out that say, hey, this is how you can use AI to help manage your social media campaign, or here's how you extract a beat list, or this is what I do to make my life a little easier. So there's that as sort of a caveat. Don't want to upset anybody.
I think I should add too that I think Jill is AI friendly, and I'm a little bit closer to AI tolerant, as well.
I feel like you're AI skeptical.
I mean, like when I and you guys, if you've been in my lunches,
you don't bash anyone, though.
I would never bash anyone. I think people should use the tools that are available to help them. I am still sometimes annoyed by the fact that both my art and my works have been trained on by AI. And I'm like, it would have been kind of cool if they at least asked beforehand. But I had this funny this is a segue, but this is what I do. I had this conversation today with someone where we were talking about like slightly modifying a piece of software to make it like more user friendly for you. And they're like, well, it does break copyright. I'm like, yeah, but the big corporations don't care about my copyright. So I'm not so concerned about like breaking their copyrights a little bit either. It's probably the wrong attitude. But anyway, So
Other thing,
I say that so that you understand that we're not just like going to beat the AI as the solution for all things drum.
Yeah.
We're going to, it's going to be measured and a considered approach to how to use it as a tool to empower you.
for sure. And we work with authors all the time that don't want to use, say, AI art for an ad or something like that. And we're totally fine with it. I just want to make sure that it's a safe place for people that are using, who are going to use stuff for AI and feel like that they're not going to like suddenly get into a conversation where someone is saying something to them that they weren't prepared for.
And the opposite too.
And the opposite. We have to, whether AI positive or AI tolerant, you have to sort of respect each other's beliefs. In a group setting, we don't all always have to agree, as long as we're cordial and nice to each other and realize we're kind of all on the same team.
I feel like this group, the people that certainly come to the lunch with Mal's, you guys are all really good about that. You guys are all good eggs.
Yeah. I think about people that are still following us that if they weren't at least AI tolerant, they probably would have dropped us by now, since we've had 2 AI classes.
And there's actually, I was just thinking, talking about AI. I know, hold that thought. There's actually stuff that like we're going to have in these courses too that I don't think we even mentioned, because I have like a 3-hour class on how to do AI image generation, and then another 2-hour class on actually how to make your own covers. Like, what are the tips and tricks that the pros use to make a cover? Like, why when you make a cover, does it look like a picture with some text on it, and when someone else makes a cover, does it look like a piece of art that is a cover? There's tricks and tips in there to do that. And I think while there's no substitute for a well-trained, very high-end cover artist, a lot of times if you want to test things, or you just need a cover for a reader magnet or a quick novella or something like that, having the skills to do it yourself, if you wish, is good. So there's a lot of other ancillary content in there. I have the misfortune of being a bit of a mistress of all trades, so which is good and bad. So I'm all about, like, if I have hands and a brain, maybe I can just do it myself.
Okay, I'm running out of battery. So I have 2 things I need to say. Okay, first is that for people inside the self-paced and the memberships, we will probably do 1 to 2 author trend reports a year, which Mel will report on like things she's seeing, things we're seeing in Facebook ads, and just publishing in general. If you're in those groups, then you just get it for free. 2, we're getting ready to launch a new masterclass, which we are slated for September, but I think we may push it to October. We'll see how Mal's feeling, which on how to create super fans like Marvel and Star Wars. Now, even if you're not a romance author, we're really just trying to say like how you create a rabid fan base for people that want to live in your world and consume your content, no matter what that content is. They don't even need to know what it is. They just need to know you did it and they want it. So it's going to be our first course, like masterclass with the workbook, with checklist. It's like leveled up stuff for us. So I'm very proud, patting myself on the back.
Oh, Jill's killing it. Jill's amazing.
And like also, and then if you're already in the self-paced videos or the membership, you're going to get that for free and get to just come. We will allow, of course, we're going to be, so people that aren't in either of those programs can still buy the ticket to the class. And it'll probably be, I'm going to guess it's going to be $47 or under. Maybe it'll be $27. It will just, I don't know. It'll depend how much work it will be for Mal. And so I'm really excited about that. And all recordings to master classes will be in the memberships and the self-paced videos. So that's exciting. It's
pretty awesome. And I need to get you a Qualcomm Snapdragon laptop, because they have 15 hours of video playback, and you won't be like seeing your battery die after being on camera for an hour.
Oh, haha.
I was just thinking that, I'm like, man, there's these new laptops that have like 15-hour video. Like they last for like 4 or 5 days if you're not doing video.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I have 23 minutes. I'm at 31%. I have 23 minutes left.
Oh God. Yeah.
I turned Bluetooth off. I don't know what's draining my battery all the time, but
who knows?
Do we have people have questions in the comments? Because I've been stuck in StreamYard, so I haven't seen any questions.
No, we have just a couple people comment on certain things that they like, but I don't think we have any other comments. So, and I actually have my ad team meeting I have to run to.
Oh, so, right, that's at 1. Yeah, Sorry,
it's at 1.
I didn't mean
that's
to
okay.
go long.
This was really great to sort of just unveil to all of you guys. It's been really exciting for both of us, because we've been like, I think for like the last 2 years, we've been thinking about how can we like make everything that we have more accessible, and get it out to more people. And I'm so excited that and this is all Jill has worked on all this stuff tirelessly, trying to figure out how we're going to organize it all, testing out different platforms for hosting it on, and doing
It's been
like
over a
so
year
much research.
since we put all those post-it notes on the wall saying this is how we're going to organize a course. And
Yep.
it's just been like a labor of love and frustration, and just like, oh, we got to get back to that.
We're so close. It's so
Now
awesome.
we're so close, and I'm so excited.
It's also like tying me to a chair and saying, edit all these videos and re-record sections you need to re-record.
I feel like you're through the hard stuff though now.
I am. Yep, I am. Yeah, it's been pretty good. And I'm also actually learning how to be a better speaker by like listening to everything I say over and over again. I was telling Jill that I can now look at the waveform like in a video editing software. It shows all like little spiky lines and everything. And I can see what an looks like. Like I know what my looks like. And I'm like, look at all the ums. I have to go edit them all out. So anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I'm
But
going
thanks
to
for hanging
edit
with
this
us.
video too into 2 different videos: a KU video and a membership video.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But thanks everyone for hanging out with us and hearing about the stuff. I can't wait to have more to talk to you guys about. And also like all the new content that we're making is just like getting my brain turning all the time about new stuff that we can do to help people.
If you have any questions, you can message me.
Yep, message either one of us if you have any questions. And we'll see you all back next Thursday for another Lunch with Mal. I have a cool topic lined up, so I'm looking forward to chat with you.
You do?
I do.
What's the topic?
It's a secret.
Oh, okay. I just thought that would make a good teaser. It's fine. You don't need to.
Well, it has to do with a new tactic for text on ads in Facebook. It's not exactly new, but it works. It's because of some changes in Facebook. It's working better than ever before.
Tune in next week to find out more.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Bye everyone. Have a good one. Have a good afternoon, day, weekend, all that jazz. See ya.
Bye.